Well, hello everybody, and I hope everybody's fine. Hopefully, this video won't sound too bad either because I'm using a microphone. Imagine that. I haven't done quite a few videos. I was going to do a video, and I'm still am right now, on current aircraft being used. That would be two aircraft. It would be the MiG 29, which I'm going to pick up here so it doesn't fall. Oh boy, that's bad. I felt something move. Okay. The MiG 29, represented by this East German Kobe model that I built. It's the only MiG 29 I have. Why? Because I've seen the MiG 29 get destroyed on the ground in Iran. And Iran flies this, I think Iraq flies this, they all fly this plane. And it's a good plane. And it was Russian equipment that was given to them to be used. Now, my main thing is here the planes that we're using in Iran, which ones have the most success? Well, they said F-35s got shot down. Well, it might be. I heard they landed and they were basically wrecks when they landed. Why did they get shot down? They're so super sophisticated. They have all this equipment on it. They have this. I'm going to use a MiG 29 to demonstrate these big turbofan engines. They only have one, which produces a lot of heat. So what hit the F-35s? It would be just a basic, simple heat-seeking missile, kind of a primitive one. And the F-35's engine drew it and they got shot down. Why didn't the F-22 get shot down? Similar thing, two strong engines. I'm going to show you in the back of the F-22. If I could do this without dropping my F-22 and causing a massive disaster. There we go. Notice the engine, the exhaust outlets. They're very kind of trapezoidal looking and very strange. Well, they could be made small. What does that do? That drops the heat signature of these engines. So instead of it being something that would draw like a basic, simple heat-seeking missile to it, it's not going to do anything. It's going to shrink it down, and I think it has the heat signature of a little portable heater or a little radio that has a lot of power. Meaning that this plane basically has unrestricted ability to go and do whatever it wants to do. This plane is probably the most successful in the battle in Iran. It could fly and do basically anything that it wants to do. The Israelis wish they had this. Thank God that our government did not allow this plane to be exported to anybody. It's all ours. Problem with that though, they had destroyed, I think, all the tooling to build more of these. So, bad thinking and planning, possibly. Well, let me go do a little bit of explanation here of these planes. The F 22 Raptor has two Pratt & Whitney F119 PW100 turbofans, 35,000 pounds of thrust with an afterburner, a maximum speed of Mach 2.5, which is 1,500 plus miles an hour at altitude, Mach 1.21, 921 miles an hour at sea level, and it can go a super cruise at Mach 1.76, 1,162 miles an hour at altitude without an afterburner. This plane does not give off a heat signature, and I'm not going to go into every missile that it has, AMRAAMs, Sidewinders, but it also has, and I know because I've built a regular model of this, right up here, it has a Vulcan gun. So it does have its own independent way of shooting besides using missiles and technology. The version of the Vulcan that this plane carries has 480 rounds, so it's got a lot of ammo in it. And it can engage a lot of different planes. So, in combat in Iran or anywhere in that area, what is it going to face? Will it face Su 30s? Maybe. Probably not. Will it face Chinese versions of Su 30s and that? More possibly so. The plane that it will encounter if it does get into the air to battle would be this plane, which is the MiG 29 Fulcrum. A lot of these were sold to a lot of those countries by Russia as part of arms deals, and a lot of them have the MiG 29. Now, the MiG 29 has two Klimov RD-33 afterburning turbofan engines, 18,340 pounds of thrust, top speed of Mach 2.3, which is 1,500 plus, 1,520 miles to be exact, and 890 miles of range with internal fuel. Maximum ceiling 59,000 feet, 130 millimeter auto cannon with 150 rounds and 6 missiles of varying kinds. It could have Russian missiles. It could have Western missiles if they change and adopt the system. It could be carrying Matras. It could carry whatever. I mean, it could be adapted. This is a very adaptable plane, is what I'm getting at. The electronics could be changed, the avionics suite could be changed and updated, and it can be made to go and fly against planes like the F 22. Could it kill an F 22? If it sees the F 22 and encounters it in battle, it's fast enough to stay with it and maneuverable enough. This, I think, is one of the best Russian designed planes ever made. They all push the Sukhoi designs, but the MiG 29 is made to be an air superiority interceptor kind of fighter. Its role is to go up and shoot down other planes, engage them in dogfights, and take them down. Most of the planes now are not for that. They're basically platforms for technology. But if you go to the basic pilot versus pilot in a fight, the MiG 29 is a plane that I'd want to have if I didn't have an American plane. It can be made to be a very effective fighter plane. And Iran has them, Iraq has them, India has them, a lot of countries have them. But right now, let's focus with Iran. You'd see these in the air, and Iran's Air Force is pretty well trained. Could they get up and possibly fight an F 22? Yes. And I will say that because, yes, the F 22 is stealthy and it's invisible on radar and all those things. But if it gets in a combat zone and the MiG 29 pilot visually sees it, he'll go after him. He's got the speed and the capability and the acceleration and the maneuverability. And he has this thing, this imaging pod sensor. What this does, it hooks with the pilot's helmet, and he's able to follow his head around, which now I guess goes into the plane's avionics and kind of get the plane in position to launch a missile or line it up for a cannon shot. So on the basis of that, if they were in combat and it was a very good Iranian pilot, and the pilot in the F-22 does not utilize all of its countermeasures and stuff properly, the MiG-29 can shoot an F-22 down in air-to-air combat. But that being said, the pilots that fly these are like a little bit above the level of a pilot that would be flying whatever plane from whatever country, just because. Saying that, I mean, it would not be a nice thing if there was an air-to-air battle, because it would be nasty. And the one thing going for the F-22 and stealth is all these compartment bays that it has where it can hide missiles and other weapons, making it much more potent in a battle situation than the MiG-29. The only thing the MiG-29 and the pilot flying the MiG-29 would have is experience, knowledge of how this plane flies from whatever intelligence that they have, and his own personal abilities at handling and managing the strengths of the MiG-29 to overcome or at least get a shot at the F-22. I don't think it can overcome it, but it can put it in position where the F-22 could be threatened. So that none of the F-22s, at least that we know, have been shot down. And like I said, I saw a video earlier this week, yeeks, got shot down already, of one of these MiG-29s being destroyed on the ground. So my thing here is, could this plane present a threat? And I will say, just from what I've known, and I studied a few other little sources, yes, this plane definitely in the hands of a very good and very skilled and knowledgeable pilot who kind of knows what's going on around him and is aware of his surroundings, could go with this plane and present a threat to an F-22. Will it? I don't know. I don't know if we'll see it or not. Maybe if it's a Russian pilot versus an American pilot, and God forbid you don't want that. Because remember, both Russia and the United States have ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. One push here, one push there, and it's done. I wouldn't like totally destroy the whole world, but I mean, of you, pardon me, that watch a show Fallout, that's what would probably happen at the end of that. But you don't want that. That's not good for anybody. But that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up with that. I'm going to like 2 more good views of these planes. Let me do this so I don't obscure your vision. The F22, the latest and greatest American plane. I'm still trying to procure an F-15, the new one. Kobe has a model of that, and when I do, I will do a detailed video explaining that. That's probably our best conventional fighter as far as technology, aircraft, airframe, engine, everything. That's not a stealth plane. That plane and this plane would battle it out pretty good, because this plane was basically, the MiG-29 was created to face the F-15 and F-16. And it's a great plane. This is my favorite Russian-made plane. And this plane, like I said earlier, can be modified, updated, better avionics, and it could stay current fighting. In fact, the MiG-31, the one they have now, is it the MiG-31? No, it's 35, I think it is. It's basically an upgrade and updating of this. Like I said, this is a good plane. And does it look like an F-15 kind of layout? Actually, the F-15, this plane, and all planes that configured like it's kind of follow the pattern of the Soviet MiG-25. The F-15 was created to counter the MiG-25, and the Raptor was created to replace the F-15, which actually didn't do. But this baby's still out there, the MiG-29, and you'll see more of this if we continue going into battle out there. Hopefully we don't put troops down, but usually when the United States does stuff in a war kind of stuff, it's done on a weekend, on Friday after the markets close. We're such a market-based society that you don't want anything to teeter-totter the market and mess up investments and cause wealth transfers and wealth distributions that are not good for the country. So that's all I could say about that. Hopefully I gave you a little imagery and a little bit of background of these 2 planes, because if something were to happen now in Iran, it would be both of these planes up against each other. If they encountered each other in a combat airspace, if there was such a thing there, which I don't think there is, because everything now is stealth. And let's get in there and not lose anything, which is good. You like that, but I mean, for traditional combat kind of stuff, no. So that's all I'm going to do with this video. I'm going to have another one coming up. I'm thinking of doing something with some World War II planes, because some people have requested that. I think maybe the P-47. Or I might do one on a P-38 Lightning. Don't have a Kobe, but I have something a little bit better, which would be kind of difficult to watch and stuff because it is kind of big. I have a 1/18 scale, 21st century toys, highly detailed P-38 with retractable landing gear. In fact, I think I will. I'll do that one. Some of you might enjoy it. Some of you might think I'm crazy. Some of you might ask me, hey, where do I get these? They don't make them anymore. I actually got mine at Toys R Us years ago. But enough on talking about it. I think I'll do that. And like I said, as soon as I get an F-15, the new one that Kobe has, I will build it. And I will do a video, because it's important with all the stuff going on, and give you a little bit more detailed information on military stuff. So let me say goodbye now. And I will get back to everybody soon, and hopefully I'll have a haircut next time too. Sorry that I'm looking like this, but I was trying to be youthful looking to some ladies at the gym, and I don't know, I think I just look goofy. But that's neither here nor there. I will see you in a day or so with the next video, and stay safe, be safe, and have fun with it.